So you're saying she should give up her cute girl image and aim to become a classy yet sexy star? Yes. Lee Ari smiled and asked. Thank you for your presentation. I appreciate how hard you worked to hire me for your product. What I don't understand though is why I should become a model for Coconut Talk. Let me ask you first. Did you like my presentation? Woosung answered immediately. Lee Ari nodded with a small smile. Coconut Talk is a messenger system. In the future, users will converse about everything via this app, including you. Woosung looked at her. Lee Ari was the daughter of a politician. She understood what Woosung was suggesting, but her manager was oblivious. You haven't answered her question. She asked you why she should become the spokesperson for Coconut. Woosung turned to the manager and answered. Well, firstly, I am offering a good compensation for the role. I will double whatever you usually charge other companies. Lee Ari and the CEO seemed surprised. The manager tried to hide his reaction and continued. But, Lee Ari can't be bought. She hasn't done many commercial works and it wasn't because she wasn't offered enough. I am well aware of that fact, and that's why I brought this presentation. The manager pointed at the report and complained. I am also unhappy with this report. What you suggest doesn't suit Ari. Classy sexy. That's not right for her. What people want is innocent girly Ari. CEO Moon Youngjun seemed to feel the same way. I agree with you that her first album was a success, but it may not have been necessary because of its sexy concept. The second album wasn't as big of a hit, but not necessarily because it lacked sex appeal. Both the manager and CEO didn't like Woosung's suggestion despite the data Woosung provided as proof. Woosung turned to Lee Ari. She seemed to have a different opinion but remained silent. Woosung was out of ideas. What should I do now? Is this not going to work after all? Woosung felt the strong need to hire Lee Ari. He changed the future of Coconut Talk including its release date and format. Woosung worried this could change the success of the app as well. All I need is for Lee Ari to like my idea. The other two don't matter. While Woosung waited, the manager added. The entertainment industry is not something you can predict with data. Lee Ari is not someone who can be analyzed and judged by internet data. $1.5 million. Pardon. I will offer you $1.5 million for a one-year contract. All you have to do is upload photos of yourself using Coconut Talk on Facebook. The CEO suddenly looked interested. The manager glanced at his boss. When neither replied, Woosung offered. $2 million. Same conditions. The CEO looked at Lee Ari, who stared at Woosung. Her manager started to pant. $2 million. It was a lot of money. Woosung looked at them. None of them replied. How about $3 million? What? Three men exclaimed. The manager, CEO, and Jang Guangchul. But that would require TV commercial too, Woosung added. Jang Guangchul poked Woosung but was ignored. Woosung looked at Lee Ari. She was the one who had the power to make this decision. $3 million was a lot of money, but she would be worth it. The number of users she could attract was limitless. What do you think? Would this be enough? When Woosung asked, the manager and Moon Youngjun looked at Lee Ari. $3 million was definitely worth it. They no longer cared about Woosung's presentation and what he recommended. They wanted the money. Lee Ari looked at them in disappointment. It's enough money, but... When Lee Ari hesitated, Woosung offered again. $5 million. Lee Ari was shocked. Pardon? I will give you $5 million. Jang Guangchul's eyes widened. Moon Youngjun and the manager couldn't even breath. The room was filled with tension. Woosung stared directly at Lee Ari. When she didn't answer again, Woosung said one more time. $10 million. No one breathed. Li Ari's eyes were in shock. Jiang Guangchul laughed awkwardly. Woosung is very funny. He likes to joke. I'm not kidding. I believe Li Ari is worth every penny. Jiang Guangchul shook his head. Ha ha ha. Oh, of course I know Li Ari is the biggest star out there, but, can we talk in private, Woosung? Woosung had eyes only for her. He asked her. What do you think? Hiccup. The manager hiccuped loudly. The CEO appeared mystified. Li Ari stared at Woosung in shock. $10 million. She made her debut at the age of 18, and within 2 years, she reached the top. However, even as a top star, she made less than $10 million during that 2 years. Now, Woosung was offering $10 million just for a single one-year contract. Li Ari felt anxious. This was too much money. Only the biggest Hollywood stars were paid this much, but this has never happened in Korea. Li Ari began to wonder if Woosung had an ulterior motive. Woosung saw her suspicion and explained. Your status and image are worth this much money. You are the biggest idol of teens and people in their 20s. They are our target audience. You are the perfect person for this job. Li Ari still looked uncertain. She even looked afraid. Was it because it was too much money? I realize that $10 million is a lot of money to consider, but I am offering it to you because I am certain that your role will make us even more money. Jiang Guangchul poked Woosung's waist again and shook his head. He didn't agree with Woosung. Li Ari was still deep in thoughts. Jiang Guangchul stood up suddenly. I am getting really hot. Can I go out for a cup of water? The CEO answered. Sure. Jiang Guangchul dragged Woosung out with him. He screamed at Woosung. President Kang, how can you offer her $10 million? If you run our company like this, we will soon go bankrupt. Woosung replied loudly. It's all right. Li Ari is worth it. Jiang Guangchul looked shocked. What? Are you her fan too? Is this because you're her fan? Is there anyone in Korea who isn't her fan? But this is business. You need to think objectively. I am doing just that. Woosung lied. He was being emotional. Young Jin Sup. Choi Gichul. If he could get to them, Woosung was willing to give up everything. But $10 million. Do you know Gwyneth Paltrow? When Woosung nodded, Jiang Guangchul replied in frustration. Do you know how much she gets paid? About $1 million. We already talked about this when we were looking into hiring Hollywood stars for Blue S and Coconut release in America. You said it would be $700,000 for Drew Barrymore and $20 million for Beyoncé. So you remember, yet you offered Li Ari $10 million. Because I believe Ari will be more effective than Beyoncé. What? Woosung answered even louder so people inside could hear him. And that is why I am willing to pay even $20 million. Crack. A loud sound of someone falling came from the meeting room. Inside the room. Manager helping his boss up from the floor. Are you okay, boss? Oh, yeah. I'm fine. They are talking about Ari, right? I think so. $20 million. The manager nodded. He is either her biggest fan or plain crazy. Could it be that this Coconut is going to be a huge hit? What do you think? Li Ari's manager shook his head. I don't know. $20 million. Maybe he's bluffing. No way. I know Jiang Guangchul. He has tens of millions of dollars in cash. A boss of someone like him would have much more. It can't be a bluff. Li Ari was looking at the door. Moon Youngjun asked her. Oh, what do you think? Your opinion matters the most of course, but I really think this is a great opportunity. His eyes shone with greed. I agree with you but? I'm just wondering why he would go this far. Why? Because he wants his app to be a huge success. What else could it be? Lee Ari had a different idea. She felt like Woosung was hiding something. When Woosung returned, he asked her right away. So did you decide? After a few more seconds of hesitation, Lee Ari finally nodded. But $10 million is way too much. I don't feel comfortable with it. I will do everything including the TV commercial for $2 million. I also want you to continue to provide me with reports like you did today. Woosung offered his hand and Lee Ari shook it. Moon Youngjun sighed disappointedly and asked. Is the reduction really necessary? Lee Ari didn't pay attention to him. She continued to look at Woosung and asked. Shall we sign the contract? Jang Guangchul took out the prepared contract. On their way back to KND office, Woosung sent a text message to Young Jin Sup. Bro, I just hired Lee Ari for my new coconut service app. Quickly after it was sent, Woosung's phone vibrated. Woosung ignored it. I'm in the car with some people so I am unable to answer your call. Sorry. Is it really true, then? Why would I lie to you? We just signed the contract and I happened to remember your request so that's why I texted you. My company tried to hire her many times for our game, but we failed every time. It wasn't easy for us either. How did you do it? Tell me. I will tell my marketing people, so they can learn from you. We were just lucky. Luck is also an ability. You must be good. Woosung grinned. Jang Guangchul asked. Who are you messaging? Is it Lee Ari by chance? No. It's a friend. A friend? Yup. Woosung continued to text quickly. Thank you for the compliment. Now that I hired her, it will be even easier for me to help you. I wish all my employees are like you. I will contact you in a few days. Maybe I can arrange a meeting. What? Meeting? Maybe we can all have dinner after the commercial shoot. There was no immediate reply. Woosung wondered. Why isn't he answering back? After about 5 minutes, Young Jin Sup texted back. If you can arrange that, I will ask Gichel to help you out with your cell phone manufacturing. So make it happen. He sounded like he was doing a favor for Woosung. Woosung didn't like his tone. He thinks he's above me. Woosung hated him even more now, but he texted back politely. Of course. I will do my best. When they returned to their office, there was a woman sitting in front of a computer typing fast. She looked sharp and confident. Woosung looked at her closely. She looked familiar. When he got closer, he became shocked. Her hair was clean and wavy. She seemed to have light makeup on. Woosung called out. Amelia? When she didn't reply, he placed a hand on her shoulder. Oh, boss. When did you arrive? You should have called me. I got here yesterday. I just wanted to get to work right away. I see. Oh, and I wanted to thank you. Pardon? Amelia whispered to him. For the incentive. Woosung felt guilty about taking the entire profit of Bitcoin, so he gave her a bonus of $500,000. It's for your hard work. Even now, you are working non-stop. Amelia smiled prettily. Woosung smiled back and asked. By the way, what are you working on? Did you already start on the Messenger app? Oh, no. I had some extra time, so I created a new type of coin that's better than Bitcoin. Coin? Well, it's more like a platform. It can be used as a platform for things like Coconut and other services. Woosung exclaimed. Blockchain platform. Just like second-generation coin Ethereum and third-generation platform EOS. It was more than just a coin. It was a platform where services could run. Amelia smiled and continued. If we develop the coconut service on this platform, the blockchain concept could be applied and make it unhackable. How did you make it all by yourself? It's only at an early stage. I need to work on it much more to finish it, but I am stuck in a few places. I was hoping to get your advice. Amelia's eyes sparked, and Woosung started to get nervous. Woosung had a feeling Amelia had a lot of questions. He took her into a conference room where they sat and continued their chat. Amelia explained. After I got your message, I had a lot to think about. It won't be hard to run the coconut service on blockchain base, but wouldn't it be too much work long term? So you created a platform? Yup. This way, Coconut won't be dependent on anything, and whenever we need security adjustments or improvements, we can provide SDK, software development kit, just like the Android. I thought it would be best. I think I need to give you another bonus. Amelia replied in embarrassment. Oh, no. I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't asking for a bonus. But you deserve it. Don't feel overwhelmed by it. Incentives and bonuses are performance-based. By the way, didn't you say you had some questions for me? Oh. I just had an epiphany. We are creating a block through the process of mining bitcoins, but our goal for Coconut is to have the customers use it as much as possible for chats. I feel like these two concepts don't go together. That's exactly right. Woosung suddenly remembered one of the cryptocurrencies from 2018. Steam. This currency was paid whenever a user posted an article online or clicked like. Woosung figured Amelia was about to discuss the same concept. So I thought, why not reward the users with coins whenever they use the Coconut service? The more they use, the more rewards they get. I was thinking about making a platform for this concept. This was exactly how Steam worked. To do that, it might be hard to have Bitcoin that work on POW, proof of work. POW. It was a way to earn cryptocurrency by working for it online. Bitcoin was a good example of this concept. On the other hand, POS, proof of stake, was different. The reward depended on how much of a particular cryptocurrency you owned. This concept did not exist at this point yet. Amelia's eyes widened and asked. Proof of work? Yeah, I just came up with the term for it. Wow, you're so good. It's a perfect name for the concept. Was that your question? To use POW or not? Yes. I feel like using the service, but mining is a separate thing. We need to come up with a different method for the platform. Then how about POS? POS? Woosung explained the concept to her. Amelia listened with a thorough, careful consideration with a murmur. Which platform should I choose? What's the right answer? Oh, how about combining the two together? Amelia was considering the use of a hybrid method, which was often used in 2018. She continued to think out loud. But operating both would make it too complicated. Woosung waited for her to finish her thought process, but even after 10 minutes, it seemed like she couldn't come to an answer. Alas, Woosung gave her an offer. Even if it's complicated, why not try it? I can help you. Amelia's eyes shined. She looked at Woosung with adoring leers. Boss. She looked like she wanted to kiss him. I'll make up a plan for you, so let's work together. Amelia nodded happily. Jiang Guangchul was waiting for Woosung outside the conference room. When Amelia returned to her chair, Woosung took him inside. Jiang Guangchul glared at him with an obvious hint of rage. I guess it's your money, so I can't say anything about it, but if you continue to spend money like this, there is no future for this company. I'll be honest. I agree with you. $20 million would have been over the top, but I still believe $10 million was reasonable. Because? Woosung retained a firm hold of his calm demeanor as he explained. How much do you think Coconut service will be worth in the future? Jiang Guangchul seemed surprised as he murmured. Maybe same as Psyworld. If things work out great, it could even become worth as much as Nexter, the portal site. Haven't you thought about it becoming bigger than Daeyang system? Jiang Guangchul didn't reply. In the future, companies based on software services such as Facebook, Google, and Amazon become large corporations. I am expecting it to be worth up to $1 trillion. To make it to that level, we need to invest. But $10 million is way too much. Woosung realized he couldn't convince him, but he also couldn't tell Jiang Guangchul the truth, including about Young Jin Sup. I suspected the financial crisis was coming, but I bought put options on Dow Jones. That is how I made my money. I gambled all my money on it. Jiang Guangchul stared at Woosung with interest. Really? If you knew about it, you probably would have stopped me. Most people lose money when they dabble in options. Are you telling me there will be more decisions you make that I will find too risky? Yes. I will do things you might find crazy. I may use a lot more money on things, and you might not understand why. And you want me to just accept it? No, it's not like that. Jiang Guangchul sighed deeply. Woosung, I trust you, but what you did, and what you are going to do will be very hard for anyone to accept. I will listen to your opinions, but if I don't back down, then please just trust me and follow my lead. And how would I know you're making the right decision? I will prove it. How? Woosung frowned for a second before giving a reply. Soon, one of the previous presidents of Korea will pass away. He won't die of a natural cause, but he also won't be murdered. Jiang Guangchul slapped the table and raised himself up in a maddened frenzy. You're crazy. How can you predict something like that? Woosung lowered his voice. Calm down. How can I calm down? It's the person who is being investigated right now. Just wait and see. When Woosung said confidently, Jiang Guangchul started to worry. Do you know what you're saying? Yes. I sometimes surprise myself too. You said before that I smell like money. I think what you smell is actually ghosts. What? I dream every night. In my dreams, I see the future. My dreams have never been wrong so far. Jiang Guangchul couldn't believe Woosung. He kept glaring with suspicion. Woosung then proclaimed to Jiang Guangchul. It will happen before the end of May. If I'm wrong, I won't do anything you don't approve of ever again. Jiang Guangchul had no choice but to agree on this deal. A few days later. In the KYLO regular meeting. Shin Semi sipped on a glass of champagne and glanced at Woosung, who was chatting familiarly with Young Jin Sup. There was no room for Shin Semi to join in their chat. They laughed and talked. She couldn't hear their conversation. Lee Sung-hyun approached Woosung and asked to talk with him in private. It was shocking to see such an important man showing interest in Woosung. They conversed with serious expressions. Lee Sung-hyun asked with a frown. It can't be. I can see anger, pain, and desperation. It's solid information based on tens of thousands of photos. It will happen within a few days. It could even be today. Lee Sung-hyun asked in shock. Today? Yes. Lee Sung-hyun paused. He remembered the North Korean missile test. He had his doubts on Woosung's prediction this time, but he also couldn't ignore it. Shin Semi joined in with a question. What are you guys talking about? It's nothing. Shin Semi frowned at them. It looked like you were talking about something really interesting. Suddenly, Lee Sung-hyun's phone vibrated. He looked at Woosung as soon as he saw the caller's number. Woosung nodded in response. Lee Sung-hyun answered the phone and nodded with a grim look, his skin getting paler. After hanging up, he announced. I just received an important news. Other members seemed to have already heard the news too. They looked at each other with rigid gazes. It seemed like most, if not all, people in the room received a message from their own varying sources. Shin Semi asked Woosung. So you provided this information to him first? Yes. As you suggested, the first thing I needed to do was break down the exclusivity of this group. Now, I have gained their trusts. That was easy. Huh, no way. It's never easy to predict the future. You know that very well. I mean, it was easy for you, Woosung. I've been wanting to speak with you for a while now. I wanted to thank you for what you told me last time. I was able to gain the chairman's trust again with the information you gave me. You're welcome. Think of it as me repaying you for introducing me to Kylo. Lee Sung-hyun suddenly came to Woosung. I'm leaving now, I will see you later. Call me if you have any other new information. I have a lot to trade with you. Woosung bowed and answered. I understand. Shin Semi nudged Woosung with a joking voice. It looks like you guys are great friends now. Woosung grinned. You and I are good friends too, right? We've known each other for a long time now. She blushed as she answered. I guess so. So we're better friends than I am with Lee Sung-hyun. Don't you think so? Shin Semi stammered. No. Woosung teased her. What? I thought we were very close. Shin Semi answered post-haste. I said no. It seemed like Shin Semi was getting angry. Woosung changed the subject quickly. So don't you have to go too? Everyone's leaving in a hurry now. Pardon? This is a big news. Don't you have to go back to the headquarters? Shin Semi bit her lips. I do. Woosung showed her his phone, which hasn't stopped vibrating. Yeah, me too. I need to get going. See you later. Shin Semi nodded, but her eyes never met Woosung's. After getting into his car, Woosung murmured. Could it be? He got a distinct feeling that Shin Semi was interested in him. But it can't be. Woosung forgot about it right away and answered his phone. Jang Guangchul was on the other end. President Kang. Woosung answered calmly. Please don't scream into the phone. How could I not? Were you serious about the ghost thing? Yes. I told you. When you said you could smell money on me, I was shocked. I'm telling you, what you felt was the ghost on me. It can't be. How could this be? I can't believe this is happening. Jang Guangchul's voice is filled with a mystified tone. Woosung continued quickly. I have something to tell you. I plan on adding data analysis as part of our business. I think with my ability, it could be very lucrative. Who cares? The ex-president has died. Just as you predicted. I must give it right back at you. Who cares? What we need to focus on is our business. The death of one ex-president has nothing to do with us. Jang Guangchul started to stammer. What? I realize it's a sad time, but business is business. Other people are probably already working on using this event to their advantage. The political scene will change because of it, and other businessmen are probably thinking about adjusting their business model to meet this change. Jang Guangchul couldn't say anything. Woosung continued. This will affect everyone, including our business. Haven't you even considered that yet? Jang Guangchul didn't like this situation. It felt like he was an employee being reprimanded by his boss. Well, I haven't had the time and the news was so shocking. Which means we need to be even calmer and think about what we can do for our business. I expected more from you. Jang Guangchul heard Woosung's disappointment and replied hurriedly. I understand, so stop nagging me. We'll talk in the office. When Woosung came back home, he showered and sat in front of his computer. The internet was filled with the sad news and people's reactions, but he wasn't interested. Woosung checked the progress on his Bitcoin mining. Let's see. 850,211.3412. He was happy with the numbers he's seeing. When he checked the servers, he noticed a few red lights. Woosung wasn't surprised. These servers were working non-stop every day. It was normal for some of them to be overworked. He called the offices in America and Korea. He asked them to switch out the broken servers. The next thing Woosung checked was his account balance. US, $1.689 billion. Korea, $175.4 million. The numbers included the value of his properties too. He had almost $2 billion. With bitcoins and coconut service in the future. However, these were future values. Woosung focused only on his current assets. With only this much money, I won't be able to buy a significant portion of Daeng stocks. Woosung was rich, but he still couldn't be compared to big corporations such as Daeyeon or MOX. Waiting for the cryptocurrency boom will take too long. Woosung tried to think of other options. What could he do so he can make Young Jinsup's life miserable now? The only way he could think of was using Lee Ari, but he was sure she wouldn't show up to any meetings if she knew Young Jinsup would be there. Young Jinsup, Young Jinsup. Woosung thought of things he had that he could use. Money. Programming skills. His knowledge of the future. He then thought of the things Young Jinsup possessed. Large shares of MOX. His position as MOX's Vice President of Development Department. His personal assets. Woosung didn't know the exact number of shares and amount of assets he had. No matter how much thinking he did, Woosung couldn't come up with anything useful. Finally, he gave up. Let's just get back to work. He diverted his attention on K-coin development. He had to complete this project in order to finish the Coconut app before the government selection. He focused on the security of the chat program. It had to be perfect or else the chance of it being chosen by the Korean government would be slim. While he was focused, a message distracted his frenzied typing. Your company's messenger has been selected. Please contact the following number for details. It was a message from the Public Procurement Service. Woosung met up with Lee Sung-hyun at a hotel room. Thank you so much for your help. Things worked out well, my company. He bowed. It was nothing. It's partly because your messenger is a great product. It has great security features too. It wasn't hard to convince them to take your app. Thank you. No problem. If you keep up the good work and supply me with good info, I will make sure KND's trading algorithm gets selected for the national pension plan. Lee Sung-hyun looked confident. Woosung replied. I will do my best. Anyway, today's meeting isn't formal, so relax. It will just be 2 team leaders and us. Alright. Now, did you bring what I asked? Woosung pointed at his laptop. Yes. It's in here. Sorry for asking to bring it, but there are a lot of people who are doubting your abilities. No worries. It's no trouble. While they chatted, 2 people came in one after another. They were the leaders of the marketing and political policy departments. They sat down and looked at Woosung with a strong sense of suspicion. The marketing team leader with frameless glasses pointed at Woosung and asked. Is this the guy? Lee Sung-hyun introduced Woosung to them. Yes. This is the leader of the digital media department. He will be responsible for analyzing and controlling the internet to our advantage. Hello. I'm the CEO of KND. My name is Kang Woosung. I've never heard of a company named KND. It must be very new. Yes. It was created only a little while ago. It is a software development company. Then you're a computer programmer? Yes, you could say that. How old are you? Marketing team leader Park Suko already knew of Woosung from Lee Sung-hyun, but he asked anyway. I'm 27. Lee Sung-hyun defended Woosung. He may be young, but he is very capable. He will be a great asset to us for the next year's election. I will take your word for it, but... It was clear he had difficulty accepting this situation. A young programmer. Lee Sung-hyun nodded to Woosung. Woosung opened his laptop and offered. Let me show you what I have. All right. Woosung showed them his analysis of the upcoming election. He explained that based on the SNS, he could tell how the population and the media thought of each candidate. Currently, their own candidate wasn't seen in the best light. The two department leaders continued to frown. They didn't like what they were hearing, thus they still felt like they couldn't trust Woosung. Internet wasn't something they've seen with the utmost importance and reliability in the political world. Lee Sung-hyun asked the two leaders. What do you guys think? This isn't some school election. This is a national event. How can we trust internet data? It's no better than believing in gossip magazines. Woosung replied. I believe in public opinion. We all know that, but what people say anonymously on the internet doesn't represent the general public's opinion. Your way of thinking is too old-fashioned. The internet is the new way to go now. Everything can be found and done on the internet nowadays. An unprecedented tension filled the room. Lee Sung-hyun looked at Woosung with interest. Park Suk-ho reddened. What did you say? Even the American President Barack Obama believed in internet data. I am trying to help you here. Lee Sung-hyun continued to watch without a word. Park Suk-ho felt he couldn't lose this fight, so he argued back. This isn't America. Korean people think differently than Americans. You can't apply what worked in the US to Korea. Woosung retorted with wit. So based on your logic, we shouldn't bring American technology to Korea either. American technology wouldn't suit Korea. Park Suk-ho glanced at Lee Sung-hyun. He wanted help, but Lee Sung-hyun remained silent and neutral. Park Suk-ho looked at Woosung and said, business is different than politics. Politics is about gaining people's heart, while business is about making money. Business also involves gaining the customers' hearts. That's the best way to make money. Lee Sung-hyun planned on not getting involved. He wanted them to resolve the differences by themselves. Park Suk-ho sighed. These were people he had to work with. Woosung tried to lighten the mood by compromising. Please consider my data just as a piece of supplementary information for now. Once I've proven myself, then you can take it more seriously. Finally, Lee Sung-hyun stepped in. Sounds reasonable. Let's start with that. The meeting ended. Lee Sung-hyun talked to Woosung in private. You were impressive today. I'm glad you liked it. Please do your best for this team. Of course. Anything involving you is always my priority. I am happy to hear that. Woosung offered. Anytime you need me, please let me know. You sound like a true businessman. You are looking to trade? Woosung lowered his voice. I can't hide anything from you. Well, I am planning to get involved in the communication business. Are you talking about MVNO? MVNO, Mobile Virtual Network Operator, was a wireless communication service provider that did not own the wireless network infrastructure over which it provided services to its customers. Woosung replied. No, I am referring to becoming the fourth mobile carrier. Currently, 3 companies control the entire industry in Korea. I would like to be the fourth one. Pardon? My smartphone manufacturing is coming along nicely. The apps for the phone are also being developed. If I can become the carrier, it would complete the picture. Do you blame me for wanting this? Lee Sung-hyun's eyes widened. It didn't seem like Woosung was joking. It's a huge risk. You could lose a lot of money every year for a long time until you make it. That's why not many attempted it. I am okay with the risks. Lee Sung-hyun was shocked. Pardon? I know the risks very well. This will be also beneficial for you. Didn't the current president promise to lower the communication cost down this term? It was indeed one of the promises of President Lee Park-sung. He swore to decrease the cost by 20%. However, this was almost impossible when the three carriers monopolized the business. You are more ambitious than I thought. Shouldn't I? Don't you have a big dream too? Lee Sung-hyun kept his voice. Woosung looked at him with anxious eyes. Before this meeting, he thought hard about asking this question. Woosung already got a lot out of Lee Sung-hyun. He got the government deals for coconut and most likely the algorithm as well. Should he risk his relationship with Lee Sung-hyun for an even bigger deal? In the end, Woosung decided it was worth it. If he wanted to destroy Choi Gichul and Dae-young, he needed to become big. There were a few who attempted to become the fourth carrier, but they all failed, even in 2018. Woosung felt that with his knowledge of the future, he could do it. Woosung asked Lee Sung-hyun. Don't you think your new world should include new people? Lee Sung-hyun remained silent. Woosung continued. You don't have to answer me right now. I am always ready, so please contact me when you know. Lee Sung-hyun was reluctant but he gave a nod in response. As soon as he got into his car, Woosung called Jang Gwangchul. I asked him. He didn't react much. It won't be easy. But possible. But we are a startup company. We haven't completed coconut service nor the smartphone. We have only a minimal profit from the algorithm trading system so far. I realized expanding is important, but creating a solid foundation is also necessary. You don't have to worry about that. And even if we become one of the carriers, will the customers use our service? If they don't, do you realize how much money it will take to maintain the business? I have enough money. You don't have to worry about that. Didn't I tell you that I made a lot of money during the financial crisis? Jang Gwangchul stopped nagging Woosung. The call ended soon after. Hong Soo-bum and Jang Gwangchul entered Woosung's room abruptly. Hong Soo-bum asked Woosung. I heard from the vice president. You are interested in the mobile carrier business? Yes, so that we can do everything from infra to service. Sir, manufacturing smartphone and mobile communication business are two very different things. Current communication industry uses HSDPA with the development of LTE coming up in the future. With HSDPA's speed of 14.4 megabits per second, it takes over 7 minutes to download an 800 MB movie. Woosung continued. In 2 to 3 years, LTE's biggest advantage MIMO, multiple input multiple output, will change this business. Woosung had a clear and deep understanding of communication technology. When Woosung tried to continue his explanation, Hong Soo-bum interrupted him. I understand that you studied a lot about this but knowing about it isn't enough. Woosung asked evenly. Then what do we need? Firstly, we need permission from the government. Because of the 3 existing carriers cartel, it will not happen. Woosung glanced at Jang Gwangchul and continued. Do you know a man named Lee Sung-hyun? You mean the son of the president? Yes. We became close acquaintances recently. He said because of the current president's promise of having a mobility fee reduction, he will consider my request seriously. Hong Soo-bum looked at Jang Gwangchul, who already knew this. Hong Soo-bum started to sweat. Things are happening way too fast. He recently heard about the messenger being selected by the government, but that was only a $1.2 million deal. Communication business needed billions of dollars to start and maintain. I also think we don't have enough funds. Within a few years, we could potentially have losses of hundreds of millions of dollars. We will need at least $10 billion just to keep afloat. $10 billion. Woosung currently had only $2 billion. He needed an additional $8 billion, but Woosung wasn't worried. I can get about $2 billion. The other $8 billion can be earned. Jang Gwangchul interrupted with a grave expression. Woosung, coconut is still not completed, and it requires a lot of money to finish. Same for the smartphone. We have 2 projects that are still in the development stages. So where would you earn that much money from? Woosung had a plan. With iPhone, Apple's stocks were going to soar. All he had to do was buy as many stocks as possible. Woosung also remembered some bio stocks rising due to the spread of new flu at the end of the year. There were so many chances in the future. Woosung wasn't worried. Listen, it's not like we need the $10 billion immediately, right? Hong Soo-bum nodded. That's true. We can make money from algorithm trading, or we can publish more KND stocks. There are so many ways to make money. After a few seconds of silence, Jang Guangchul looked at Woosung. $10 billion. It's $10 billion we're talking about. Only $10 billion. We can't give up on this chance because of only $10 billion. This could be a huge opportunity. If it became successful, the money would roll in. This could be the goose that lays golden eggs. Jang Guangchul was hoping Hong Soo-bum could change Woosung's mind, but it was clearly useless. Director Hong, you need to only focus on coconut. That's it. Hong Soo-bum shrugged his shoulders and looked at Jang Guangchul helplessly. Woosung also turned to Jang Guangchul. By the way, I got a call from America. The final version of Blue S is completed. So all we have left is to launch it. Yes. I heard that the iPhone 3GS will be released on June 9th. It will sell like hotcakes. Hong Soo-bum asked. Then wouldn't we be at a disadvantage? People won't buy 2 new phones. If the 2 products have similar qualities and one is cheaper, which phone would you buy? Well, that's our hope, but it will work. Anyway, I need to go to Silicon Valley for a while. Please come with me, Vice President. Me? Of course. You need to witness the release of KND's very first smartphone. Alright. I will buy the tickets for tomorrow. Woosung, Amelia, and Jang Guangchul arrived at Silicon Valley. Amelia went home, while Woosung and Jang Guangchul headed to the office. When they arrived, Logan handed them a well-packaged box. On the surface was the name Blue S. Woosung opened it. So this is it. As you suggested, the release date has been set to June 12th. It will be through T-Mobile. Luckily, there aren't a lot of places that deal with Android phones, so Google helped out a great deal. Things worked out well. Blue S was the first Android phone that had the potential to compete against the iPhone and win. Logan continued. Per your instruction, we have 10,000 phones ready to go. The price has been set lower than the iPhones. 4 GB model will be $450 and 8 GB will be $550. After inspecting the phone, Woosung asked. The hardware costs about $210, right? Yes, but we expect it to go up slightly. That's fine. I love the design and the specs. It was exactly the same as Daeng's phone from his previous life. Width 120 mm. Height 65 mm. Thickness 12.1 mm. The display was 3.5-inch TFT LCD with the memory of 256 MB, Wi-Fi was included. With specs like this, it was comparable to iPhone 3GS. On top of that, Coconut Talk was already installed into the phone. Woosung had high expectations for this feature. Coconut Talk service latency was measured to be an average of 0.03 seconds. For the iPhones, it turned out to be as late as 1 second. In terms of speed, ours is definitely better. Woosung replied. With respect to UX, Coconut is better as well. Users will like that. And we also started airing the TV commercials. As you wanted, we hired Lady Nana for it. It's already looking very promising. We had a lot of inquiries about the phone because of it. Lady Nana. She was one of the most popular pop stars in America in 2009. Woosung spent tens of millions of dollars on this ad campaign. Logan smiled. We also created a Facebook page. It already has tens of thousands of likes. Everyone at the office has high hopes for this product. Unless something unexpected happens, Blue S will be the new sensation. Woosung turned to Logan. From now on, when people think of Android, they will think of this phone. Woosung felt confident. In his previous life, Daeng's Blue S was a huge international success. Woosung believed that without a doubt, this phone would be sold out like hotcakes. June 12. Woosung was having coffee in leisure with Jang Guangchul. I told you so. Jang Guangchul couldn't say anything. If we want to meet this huge demand, we will either have to expand the existing factory here or outsource it to a company in China. What do you think? I will follow your decision. Jang Guangchul looked at Woosung in amazement. Woosung said quietly. Well, let's first hire more factory workers. Okay. All of our 10,000 phones sold out. I told you so. If you hadn't stopped me from outsourcing it to a Chinese factory, we could have sold more phones already. Jang Guangchul looked at Woosung with a deep-seated regret implanted on his chest. Jang Guangchul looked remorseful. Before launching Blue S, Woosung suggested expanding the existing factory in Silicon Valley or hire another factory in China because he expected the phone to be a hit. However, Jang Guangchul rejected the idea because he felt they were expanding too fast. Now, it seemed like Woosung was right. Woosung looked at Jang Guangchul with furrowed eyebrows. I thought about pushing harder for it, but I didn't want to sound like a dictator. That's why I took your advice. I know. I always feel like I am being too pushy with my ideas because you and others always think I'm going too fast. It seems I should have trusted my gut instincts instead. While Jang Guangchul looked at Woosung with guilt, Logan approached them with a smile. This is awesome. Everyone wants our phone, both online and offline. Our factory is running at its max, but we still can't meet the demand. Woosung murmured. If we had 500,000 phones ready, we could have made $100 million because each product gives us a profit of $200. Instead, we just made only $20 million. Jang Guangchul groaned loudly. Woosung said to Logan. The maximum number of phones we can currently manufacture per day is 5,000, so in a month, we can only make 150,000. Well, realistically, it would be more like 130,000. Finally, Jang Guangchul apologized loudly. Fine. It's all my fault. I admit it, but in my defense, you always want to do things that are too risky. I know you have been doing very well in everything you've tried, but I wanted you and this company to be on the safe side. I know why you did it, and I don't blame you for it, but there are things that I will do despite your opinion because it's necessary. Jang Guangchul could guess what Woosung was referring to. Are you talking about the mobile carrier business? Woosung nodded firmly. Jang Guangchul groaned again. Fine. I won't stop you. How about other things? Well. Depends. Woosung glared at him. Are you saying you'll continue to reject my ideas? I will try my best to restrain myself. Woosung smiled. That's all I wanted to hear. Now, let's enjoy our moment of triumph. Our phone is a success, and all we have to do now is to make more. The entire office was in a mood to party. Because of the death of an ex-president, the entire nation of Korea was in a state of mourning. Despite Blue S's incredible success abroad, its news was barely mentioned in Korea. However, Daewoo and other smartphone companies in Korea were well aware of its victory. A hardware department employee at Daewoo checked the International IT Review website and murmured. So Blue S is sold out. Blue S was the phone his boss was keeping an eye on. He printed the news and included in the daily report. After checking the news, the Secretary General bit his lips. 10,000 phones are sold out. The factory is running at its max capacity. It hasn't even been released in Korea. This was a problem. Becoming popular in the US meant that it's easy for it to become a worldwide success. Blue S. Blue S, I hate that name. He called the development lab and asked them to purchase the phone for study. With a Blue S in hand, the Secretary General visited the Vice Chairman's room. This is the phone. Blue S. An Android-based smartphone. They appear to be working with Google closely. We will delay their release in Korea as long as possible, but we have no control over them overseas. Choi Tae-min looked at the phone with interest. Its specs are comparable to iPhones? That's right, and this fact has been proven by various review sites as well as our own lab. So they have the technology to pull this off. The only thing they seem to lack right now is a mass manufacturing ability. Once that's fixed, they will grow fast. So it wasn't a bluff that they could become a close competitor to iPhone. KND is also known for their development team. The developers there get treated very well. Their salaries are very competitive. Well, all we can do for now is delay its release in Korea as long as possible. If they are having difficulty with mass production, we'll have to try to win by overwhelming the market with our phone's availability. We can't have our price lower than theirs or else our phone may be perceived as an inferior product. Choi Tae-min frowned. See if they impinged on any of our patents at all. Let's see if we can have any kind of legal ground against them. Choi Tae-min added. Make sure to destroy them at all cost. Yes, sir. The factory was running full-time, but the demand was too great. Every day, they would receive an order of over 30,000 phones. The office was filled with excitement. Woosung approved the factory expansion and bought more lands. He invested the entire $20 million earned from selling the first batch with his land endeavors. Jang Guangchul asked Woosung. Are you sure you don't want to outsource the manufacturing to a Chinese OEM? We'll have a better profit margin that way. Apple will be doing that and make a huge profit, so I did consider it. Then why did you change your mind all of a sudden? When GM couldn't handle the financial crisis last December, the American government went into great lengths to save it. I wondered then, would they have done the same for Apple? Jang Guangchul answered without hesitation. I don't think so. That's probably why many of the tech companies in Silicon Valley went bankrupt and disappeared during that time. So you want power more than money? Even in Korea, Daeyoung insists on having all manufacturing done in Korea rather than outsourcing it to China where the cost would be lower. That is how they maintain their presence and power in Korea. I get it. Daeyoung is called the company that supports all of Korea. If it went bankrupt, huge portion, if not all, of Korea will be affected. They have the power over politics and media. So are you planning to become the next Daeyoung? We'll become like Daeyoung in America. In Korea. In Korea, KND will become so big that it destroys Daeyoung. Woosung didn't finish his thoughts out loud. Jang Guangchul warned him. I understand your dream, but Daeyoung probably already know everything about our smartphone. They will soon make a similar phone with better specs and cheaper price. I know. They will catch up to us, no doubt about that. It's only a matter of time before they destroy us. That is why we have disclosed our smartphone blueprint to the public and create an environment that attracts talented developers. What if Daeyoung does the same thing? We are the original. It is hard to beat that. Woosung looked at Jang Guangchul and continued. We can do this. Our phone will be the original smartphone. Whatever Daeyoung makes after will always be considered a copycat. Jang Guangchul sighed. When you first mentioned manufacturing a smartphone, I was excited. I thought that once we make it, that will be it. It seems like it's only the beginning. Now, whenever you come up with the next plan, Woosung looked at him silently. Jiang Guangchul continued. It seems like it is never ending. Business is never easy. I know that. We have so much to do. We have to find new developers and businessmen for our mobile carrier business. We need to hire more people for the factory here. And as Woosung listed the things they had to do, Jiang Guangchul shook his head. Fine, fine. We have a lot of work to do. Let me know the first thing that needs to be done. Now that our phone is a success, the next is the app. You mean Coconut Talk? That's right. We have to upload the app to the Apple App Store so that iPhone users can experience how great our service is. Fine. I will talk to Su Bum. Please ask him to upload it ASAP. Do you like this video? Let me know by giving it a thumbs up and leaving a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on my future uploads.